After discuss the idealist approach, now we will discuss the realist approach in international relation. The realist approach was adopted by many thinkers in political science, but in international politics, it was mainly theorized by Hans J. Margenthau. And before Hans J. Margenthau, E. H. Carr also developed the realist approach in international relation, particularly in reaction or in react against the idealist approach between two world wars. The realist approach, we can found the traces of realist approach or realism in the ideas of Thucydides, who wrote the book on Peloponnesian War in 1431. In this book, he analyzed the war between Athens and Sparta as a realist view. And the contemporary of Thucydides was Sun Tzu, who wrote the book Art of War. He was from China. These both work were based on idealist approach. And we also found the realist approach in the ideas of Machiavelli and Hobbes when they portrayed the state of human nature or the state of nature, which is based on self-interest, and they can protect their interest only through their power. And Machiavelli also suggests the prince how he should behave in relation with other nations. So his suggestion to his prince were based on realist approach. But in international relation, the realist approach developed mainly emerged as a reaction to the idealism between the two world wars. It was mainly developed after Second World War as a theory or as a systematic approach in international relation, which was developed by Hans J. Margenthau in his book Politics Among Nations, Struggle for War and Peace. But before Morgenthau, the idealist approach was criticized by E. H. Carr, and he developed in his book 20 Years Crisis the realist approach. Along this, many statesmen or many politicians or many diplomats, particularly in USA and other parts of the Europe, adopted the realist approach. Among them, Henry Kissinger, George Kennan, John Foster Dulles, many of the statesmen of USA who adopted the realist approach, particularly during the era of Cold War. There are three types of realism we will analyze or we will study in this part of our syllabus. Three types of realism. First is classical realism. The realism which was developed by E. H. Carr, Hans J. Margenthau, Henry Kissinger, Nicholas Spikeman, and George Kennan, etc. This approach is called classical realism. It is called classical because a reformed type of realism was developed by Kenneth Waltz, John Greco, John Mearsheimer, etc. And after the development of neo-realism, or which we can call also structural realism, the old realism will start to call as classical realism. The main difference of classical and neo-realism was that Classical realism was based on human nature because all the nation, the conclusion of all the both of types is that international politics is struggle for power, and in this system it is a self-help system, and every nations work or take decision only on based of their national interest. But the main difference is that in classical realism, Hans J. Margento says that the root of international relation, or the root of the, or can the cause of struggle for power or conflict among nations is based on human nature, because human nature is lust for power and selfishness, and this lust for power is also reflected in international relation. But when after the behavioral revolution, when it was challenged by some thinkers that human nature, all of our actions in politics, in economics, or in international politics, all are based on human nature. So all things are based on human nature. So it is not a scientific analysis, and that to put the international politics or to find the cause of international behavior in human nature. So it was challenged as an unscientific theory. Then Kenneth Watts wrote a book, The Theory of International Relation, in 1979. Then he it provided different base to realist approach or to realist theory. He provided that it is the anarchical system, or it is the anarchy at international level, which we can define as absence of supreme authority to regulate the behavior of nation or to protect the interest of nation. It is the main cause, or it is the main cause of a struggle for power among nations, because this is self-help system. Though the main difference between classical realism and structural realism, that classical realism was based on human nature and it is based on anarchical system. Further, neorealism, Kenneth Watts, the name of Kenneth Watts is mainly attached with neorealism, and his neorealism is called also structural realism, because he talk about the structure of the international system, which is the base of the behavior of nations, or which is the base of the all wars or all conflict among nations. Another this Joseph Grieco, which integrated the idea of Morgenthau and Watts also. And this new realism is also further developed in different direction. First is offensive direction and other is defensive direction. Offensive, we who support the offensive view of new realism, for example, John Seymour Simmer, and they argued that nation should not satisfy at a minimum power, which is sufficient to protect their interests, but they should develop the power at maximum as it is possible, because not the self protection or not or the defense. If the power is sufficient for the defense, it is not enough, but they try to dominance other area also, because it is the best way to protect their national interest. But on the other side, the other direction of neo-realism was defensive realism, which suggests that the offensive realism can create war among nations. So a nation should acquire the power in international relation which is sufficient to protect their national interest. Robert Jervis, Stephen Waltz are attached to this approach. And the third is neoclassical realism. There are two main branches of realism we have discussed: the classical realism and the neo-realism, which can be called as structural realism. Then the Gideon Rose also developed the coined the new term in realism approach, that is neoclassical realism. He mixed the idea of classical or defensive realism. The classical realism, which was propounded by Hans Morgenthau and A.H. Carr, etc., and defensive realism, which was developed by Jervis and Stephen Walt, and he mixed the idea and developed the new type of realism, which we can say that neoclassical realism. In his neoclassical realism, he discussed the different variables which intervene in the international politics. We will discuss when we study the neoclassical realism in the later part of this topic. So this is this different type we will discuss in a realist approach. The main assumption of realism. What is the main assumption? Which are this assumption are related to all the types of realism. This is irrespective to which type of realism we are discussing. It may be classical or structural or neoclassical. All these assumptions are based or because the main ideas or the main conclusion of all the branches of realism are same. They are differ only some of the points. The first assumption is of realism is the state are the most important actors. There are many other actors which play the role in international politics or international relation. For example, regional organization, it may be international organizations such as UNO, or it may be some business group, or it may be some terrorist organization at this time also. But this approach focus mainly on the functions or mainly the decisions of the states, because it considers the states which are the sovereign country, which are the major actors, and all the international system is developed by Oriental system is interact with the interact when we develop different decisions. The main focus of this approach is the nation states, or which is considered the major actors of international politics. The second is the international system is anarchic and self-help system. It is the basic assumption of realism is that why the state struggle for power, because the system is anarchic. It means absence. Anarchy is not means the absence of rule and regulation, or is a continuous war between the state, or like a condition of a jungle raj. But it is not like this. It is just to mention that there is absence of a central authority, the absence of supreme power which can regulate the behavior of nations, or which can draw or which can enact the laws, and which is capable or able to implement that laws. There is the absence of all these things at international level. Because of this, the national politics and international politics are different. The behavior or the system of national level and international level work in a different way. International system is anarchic, the absence of supreme authority, and every nations have to protect their interest by their own national power. So there is no other things which will help you in difficult condition, in crisis. Only you can help yourself. So this is the self-help system at international level. National interests are paramount of states. Every states, the main things in the mind when they take decision at international level, all the nations, all the leaders, all the diplomats, all the statesmen, the main things in their minds or the intention behind their decision is only their own national interest. Every nation's other things, the moral principle, the interest of other nations, the interest of international organizations such as UN or the principle of UN, all are the secondary things for the nation. The primary things of nations is to protect their national interest. Nations seek more and more powers to protect and enhance their national interest. And how can they protect their national interest? What is the means through which they can protect their national interest? Because there is no rule and law, there is no supreme authority, there is no world state government, or there is no federalism. Then how can they protect their national interest? Then there is the only one thing that can be used to protect their national interest, that is their own power, the national power. So the national interest can be achieved or can be enhanced only through the national power. So this approach focus on the first focus is this approach is on national interest, and the second mainly focus is of national power. The national interest in terms of power is the major or basic assumption of realism. The primary concern of all state is survival, because in the system of anarchy, because if there is no rule and regulation, there is no super authority, then there is always your life or your property in danger. So at international level, the unity and integrity and the boundary of every nation is always in danger if they are not aware about this. If they cannot protect their boundaries, or they cannot protect their citizens. So the major concern of all state of survival. If a nation is more powerful, then he may think of beyond the survival, that he can see if there is no any threat to his survival, then he may think for dominance, because the interest of a powerful nations may be enhanced beyond the survival. For example, the USA, China, these nations want to global dominance like USA, or regional dominance. This is the other concern of the nations may be create in international relations. The next is the international politics is continuous struggle for power, because if our neighbor or opponent nation or any other nations become more powerful, then it automatically creates threat for us. So we also try to enhance, or we also try to increase our power. And if we may become more powerful, then it is also a threat. It may also create a threat, or other countries think is a threat, so they also try to enhance their power. So this is a circle that every nations, that is a continuous circle that every nation want to become powerful than other nations, and other nations want to become powerful than the previous nations. So this is a continuous struggle for war. All the nation, it is an endless war for struggle. Every nation, there is no limit that where there is not at the peak point where a nation can stop to become more powerful, or at that point he think that this is no more power is required, because this is the dynamic situation at international level. New types of technology developed time to time, new types of sophisticated weapons or intercontinental missile or satellite are developing by different nations, which is the main source of national power. So there is no limit of national power. So the international politics is a continuous struggle for not power but struggle for power. Its roots are in human nature. The classical realism and which may trace this idea in the political thought of a political philosophy of Machiavelli and Rousseau, the Machiavelli and Hobbes also, and also in the ideas of Morgenthau and Eckhart. The basic instinct of human nature is a struggle for power. Every human wants to fulfill their self-interest, and he has a lust for power, and this is no limitation. Selfishness maybe have some limitation at one point, but the lust for power is a desire for endless. It is endless, which is no limit, because a person may be satisfied if he dominate the whole the world, and to control the whole the world is not possible, because many of the leaders try to conquer the whole the world. For example, we hear about the Sikandar Mahan or Hitler or Napoleon, which want to conquer the whole world, but it is not possible. So the struggle of power, the struggle for power continue. At a social level or at a lower level, every human wants to become more powerful. For example, in national level, we can say that people want to become powerful through more wealth, or through the higher post, or to become minister or prime minister or chief minister. So at national level also, a nation want to become powerful than other nations. Minimal role of non-state actors. The major actors of realist approach, the major actors of international politics according to realist approach is states, the nation state, the sovereign state. The other parts, other actors we play a role in international politics, may be regional organization, maybe such as SAARC, ASEAN, or maybe some business groups, maybe some international level NGOs, or maybe some other parts, other actors, but they have very minimum role in the politics, in shaping the structure of politics, or in the decision making at international level. The major role is played by states or sovereign nations. Universal moral principles are not applicable of state behavior. There are many moral principles in our social life: the honesty, the integrity, the helplessness, the help to others, or behave in a good way, or respect others. These are the some moral principles of norms and values of our society, of every society. So such type of moral principle that we should not harm other nations, we should respect the territory of other nations, or we should not struggle, or we should solve our issues with dialogues, we should not attack others. These are the some moral principles. But these moral principles are not applicable on the state's behavior, because the primary concern, the primary objective, the only target of the nations at international politics is to protect their national interest, because it is the official duty of the statesmen which we are appoint. It is their personal wish may be different from it, but he should perform his official duty. The official duty is to protect, is to enhance their citizens' interest, or the interest of their nations. No possibility of change in human nature, and thus in international politics. It is this approach is pessimist about the human nature or about the international system. The international system is a struggle for power among nations, or it is a continuous conflict, or war is a natural phenomenon of international relation, and the human nature and the human instinct, the struggle for power or the dominance of other or the lust for power cannot be changed. Human nature cannot be changed. So international politics or the behavior of nation cannot be changed also. So this approach is pessimist about any positive change in international relations. The key concept or realist approach we will discuss mainly when we will discuss the theory of Hans J. Morgenthau, the national interest. There are three concepts in realist approach: the national interest, national power, and national security. The national interest is the major concept, the major concern of the state. But what is the national interest? It is not defined by any political, any realist thinker, because it is a dynamic concept. Although Morgenthau differentiate between permanent or variable national interest, permanent interest, which for that a nation is ready to war also, because for example the protect of their boundaries or the protect of their citizen or unity and integrity of a nation. This is the permanent interest of a nation. But the variable interest, which are defined by statesmen according to the condition of their nation or according to the capacity or capability of their nations. If a nation is powerful, then its variable interests may be different. For example, USA is interest may be to establish the favorable government in West Asian nation or any other nations. But a poor nation or a weak nation cannot think such type of interest. So the interest, national interest, the permanent interest always the same for all the nation, because every nation, the permanent interest of every nation is to protect their boundaries, to protect the integrity of their nation, or to protect the citizens, protect their citizens also. These are some permanent interest of all the nations. But variable interest or the temporary interest may be vary from nation to nation according to their condition, according to their power, according to their resources, or according to their target in international relations. The other major concept is national power. National power means it is the power is also a dynamic concept. Only to possess sophisticated or highly developed weapons is not a sign of a powerful nation. Although it is the major elements of power, but the power is appropriate combination of many other things, such as weapons, economic resources, natural resources, geographical location, size of the country, national morale in the country, leadership quality, and also the relationship or also a part of other group, for example NATO वगैरह etc. So there are the major elements of national power. So national power is, to measure the national power is also not possible accurately. We can assume, we can suppose that this nation is powerful or not, but the actual position is not measurable. Only through the war we can decide who is more powerful than other nation. But national interests are protected by national power. This theory is also define international politics as a struggle for power. The next is national security. National security is because the system is a hierarchy, is the anarchical system or self-help system. In this system, the survival is very major concern for all the nation. The Henry Spencer theory, the survival of fitness. This is also applicable in international politics. If a nation is fit to protect its national interest, to protect its national integrity, then it can survive. Other it will be demolished by, it will be eliminated by enemy nations or eliminated by the system. So these key concept of realist approach, all the realist approach revolved around these key concepts. 3S of realism. First is statism, second is survival, and third is self-help. Statism means the state are the main actors. It decides the direction of international relation. Its decision can shape the international politics or international system. They are the major actors. Survival, because they seek the state behave in international relation, and target of their international behavior, their behavior with other nations, the main motives or main concern is their survival. And the self-help system, because they are more concerned about their survival, the state, because of the absence of supreme authority and absence of world government, and they should help themselves. Only the nation is itself can protect its interest. No other system or no other authority will protect or will help in the time of crisis. So these 3S are related to realism. So this is the basic introduction of the realist approach or the realist theory in international relation or international politics. Now in the next class we will discuss the Hans J. Morgenthau's theory, the theory of Hans Morgenthau, because the Morgenthau is maybe considered as synonyms of realism. He developed a systematic theory of realism which we will discuss in the next class.